In our next term, we will reduce the base income tax rate from 25 to 15, and we will introduce a more progressive system. So everybody will pay less taxes. But I want to point out to you that this administration has cut poverty from 16% to 8%. And largely that has happened because our administration has tripled the minimum wage. And I've heard the cries of Jamaicans. I was campaigning in central Kingston during the local government election in 2024. I'll never forget it. A young lady came up to me and she said, Prime Minister, why you increase the minimum wage? We had just increased the year before, and she said, Prime Minister, no, you have to increase the minimum wage again. And we went back and we looked at it. And at that point, we concluded, and I'm saying this tonight because it's a very important announcement. Jamaica will move to a livable wage system. In the next term, Jamaica will move to a livable wage system, and we will do it in a way that will not affect business or affect the economy. We have looked at a path to doing it, and we have worked out how it will be done. The livable wage, simply, is what the average person needs to survive for rent, utilities, education, food, and emergencies. So, over the next few years, in our third term, we will double the minimum wage from $16,000, what we have carried it to now, having almost tripled it, to $32,000. In our first budget, the minimum wage will move from $16,000 to $18,500, and then gradually after that for the next few years. Listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. It is necessary to do this. It is necessary to do this. And I want all Jamaicans to appreciate how our economy has changed. Yes, it's important for quality of life, but here's a big problem. At 3.3% unemployment, you are practically at full employment. People are not making a decision to leave what they are doing. Many of them are at home. Many of them are at the street side. Some of them are hustling. And so the incentive to work at that level is not strong enough. So by increasing the minimum wage gradually, you shift the incentive to work in favor of work. So you're going to get more Jamaicans voluntarily deciding to move out of the unemployment pool and into the labor pool. And that will give greater opportunity for growth in the economy. In the last 9 years, we have spent the time building a finely tuned economic engine. Finely tuned, finely balanced. You can't make any big swing. Everything you do, you have to plan it out over a period of time. And that is how we have managed to keep everything stable without asking you to pay any more taxes. And in fact, we have given back taxes to you. We are now giving the solidarity program. We have given a lot of increases in the minimum wage. And now the big thing is that Jamaica will move towards a livable wage. That is what you can expect in the third term of the Jamaica Labour Party. We are the party that move poor people from poverty to prosperity. We love the poor, but we hate poverty. And I don't want anybody to argue this point, because listen, Barbados' minimum wage is about 33,600 Jamaican dollars. Trinidad is about $21,000. Ours is currently at 16. So we are a little bit behind in the region. We definitely have to step up. But this increase, I am sure, will also increase productivity of labor overall. And the increase in productivity of labor will generate growth in the economy. And that is what we want in our economy, growth. But we want the growth to be fair. We want the base of the society to benefit from the economic growth. We are, if you notice, our policy is not focused on a small group of people. which is what the 3.5 does. 120,000 versus 1.4 million people. Last night you would have heard me make an announcement. It's really two announcements in one. One is that Jamaica is going to move towards what is called a living wage. And secondly, we are going to increase the minimum wage from 16,000 that it is now to 18,500 in our next budget. Now, for some people, it sounds like a big thing, and others may be a little bit concerned. Why? How me go pay me helper? How me go pay me gardener? But helpers and gardeners are very happy. Bartenders and people who work close to the minimum wage level, they are very happy. People who work as cashiers and merchandisers and security guards, they are very happy. But let me say this to you, my government that I administer on your behalf, we have never done anything that amounts to an unfair redistribution in the society. We don't believe in taking from one set and giving it to the next set. That's redistribution is a PNP thing. What we believe in is growing the pie so that everybody gets a bigger slice. In 2016, when we took over the government, the minimum wage was 6,200. And I want you to think back to 2016. And if you were in 2016 today, would you believe if I told you then that the minimum wage would be $16,000 now, almost triple? Would you believe it? You would say, boy, it's not possible. But look at it today. The minimum wage is now $16,000. You hear anybody fire anybody because the minimum wage increase? No, you hear people are ball, they can't get nobody to work. You hear any business closed down because minimum wage increase? No, more businesses are opening. Why? Because we run the economy in such a way that it causes growth to happen. The problem in Jamaica today is that the economy is expanding faster than we can provide labor to the economy. You see that problem? So you have people saying, I want workers. But you have another problem where workers are saying, I don't want to work. That is the problem. My government has brought in 85,000 new people into the labor force. And you know how that happened? Because we have gradually increased the minimum wage. And therefore people say it makes sense for me to work. Think about it. If you are at home taking care of your baby, and the pay that you're going to get after you pay bus fare and buy lunch, you don't have nothing. May as well just stay home. And a lot of people think that way. So to get more people into the labor force now, we are going to have to increase the reward for labor. And that is how we're going to take off a lot of the youngsters who you see sit down on the roadside and all that, because for them, it don't make sense them work because they're not getting any reward. Now, we have to do this in a way that we don't place an unfair burden on business people and on people who are earning middle income. No. So you do it in a way that as you increase the income of the country, which we have been doing, we also increase the income of those at the bottom, and then we pull more people into the labor force.